different legacy. What is legacy? Legacy is dear old mom and dad and Uncle Wilbur. I know this is a Dear Glendon segment. Hey Glendon, I've looked at your videos. I love them. Just one thing. Being the astute business person that you are, why did you sell your gold? I read about the safe and the money in the Cougarans and the coins. If you had held on to that, you could have tripled your money. I'm going to say he is absolutely correct. If I held on to that stuff, I could have tripled my money. But in the long term, I would have lost so much money, it wouldn't be funny. This is what happened. I bought the unit, made 62 grand, took that money, reinvested it in more storage units. Some of those units that I invested that 62 grand into actually made a lot of money.
More money, more money, and more money.
So, if I had held on to the gold and let it appreciate into today's market prices, I probably would have lost close to $800,000, $900,000. So the deal is, with investing in business, you have to know when to take money off the table. When I bought that wonderful, that great unit for $1 and realized 62 grand, there was no way I can lose. You understand? There's a difference between getting gold out of a storage unit and selling it and making a lot of profit versus buying gold from, say, a refiner close to current market pricing. It's a huge difference. Most of the units, 90% of the units, I got a deep discount on what they were really worth. So from an investment standpoint, the buy and hold methodology doesn't apply. And I'm not really a buy and hold guy on a lot of stuff. If you watch the videos, you know that I am not really crazy about the stock market. You know, I have a few investments, but they're not in the stock market. And my shit didn't tank. But that's a whole nother video. The whole thing is, you got to know what's good for you right now. Being an investor or a business person is not a static proposition. There is no such thing as this worked yesterday and it's going to work tomorrow. It's an evolving beast. So you have to know what you're going to do. Also, the gentleman that bought the unit and he realized 32 grand off of it, and he asked me what should he do? Should he put it in more units? My advice to him was to pay off personal debt. Because what's the point in having significant assets if your gains are being eroded by high interest rates? It's like a zero-sum game. You know, you've got an asset over here making you 3, 4, 5, 6, 7%, and you have interest rates of 10, 12, 13, up to damn near 30%. Who's winning that game? The bank. And they're winning it all day long, and you're losing. If you know anything about investing, what you should do first is get rid of as much personal debt as possible. There was a game you could play when times were good. That was the 0% interest credit card. Fine. You know, when that was working and you had $30,000 worth of debt, but there was 0% interest, it was like paying straight cash on extended terms. Not a bad financial move. But for most people, you can't play that game anymore. Very few people can play that game because the way that the financial markets have changed. So a methodology, a game plan that was based on greed and consumption has fallen. So now we're back to real market forces, i.e. you have the money to buy the item or you don't have the money to buy it. That's where we are. This whole thing on buying everything on credit, unless you're the United States government, now that's still working for them. But for the average person, that's a very risky proposition. That's a very dangerous game. So if you buy a storage unit and you have a lot of personal debt, which is a huge liability, your best interest for you and your family would be to liquidate that debt. Pay it off as quick as possible. So if you got $50,000 worth of personal debt and you find a storage unit that makes you $80,000 profit, 50 G's, right on the barrelhead of that debt, then your life is much better. I'm serious. So on the gold and the silver thing, if you got a lot of debt, it's real hard to save. You should save. You should pay the debt and you should have a program, but that's a whole nother thing, how you ladder that. But in a situation of being a professional storage auction buyer and coming across a big hit unit, you need to make sure your foundation is rock solid. So you get a big lit like that can actually improve your life, not just today, but for the foreseeable future, because you make the right financial decisions. That's a great thing, because I've said it before, I've said it a lot. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I've said it before and I'll say it again. When you don't have a lot of personal debt, it doesn't take a lot of money to live. When you don't have a car note, when you don't have crazy ass mortgage payments, you can live large, $2,500 to $3,000 net a month. I'm telling you, yeah, it's only 30 to 36 grand a year, but this is the typical person's nut. Mortgage, apartment rent, car note, student loans, credit card payments. Oh shit, food, insurance, health insurance. I mean, there's so many things. But on that first hand, it was all debt-laden stuff. You would be better served to get rid of your nice car and get a reliable Toyota, Honda that's several years old that you can pay cash for until you improve your financial position. That would be a winning strategy. But we live in a society where it's like that J.G. Wentworth
commercial. It's my money and I want it now.
No, it's not your money, it's credit. And it's taking your money like a pimp. So, definitely reduce your personal debt. So, that's why I sold my gold, because it gave me increased cash flow to make more money. See, this is the thing. Buy and hold is great for your long-term investments, but for a business, you need to put money out. You need to cycle that money. Money goes out, money comes in. Money goes out, money comes in. Oh, what? The corporations, why are they holding on to their money? Well, there's a little duplicity going on with that. There's a lot of paper games that corporations play to show profits that actually have not been made yet. So, corporate profits are all at all-time highs. They may or may not be. I'll give you an example. I would say Apple, their profits are high. And why? Because Apple makes shit that a lot of people buy and love. And people buy it. I'm becoming an Apple head myself. I've got one computer. I got, the iPad's going to be next. And I don't even need that shit. That's how they suck you in. So when they say they're having great profits, I believe it. Now these other companies, where they kind of playing the shuffle game, I don't know. And then you have companies that have a lot of their business overseas and a lot of their money coming from overseas markets. There could be essentially a conversion game. You make the money over there, then you bring it back over here and you convert it against this weak ass dollar. It looks like you made more money than you really did. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Now, if you were in the position of corporate 1000, I guess you would do the same thing. But don't be fooled by the Jedi mind trick. Don't be fooled by the corporate Jedi mind trick, because if all these things are, as they say, corporate profits are at an all-time high, why aren't they hiring anyone? Why is the hiring so slow? I'm telling you, it is not what people think it is. It is not. So that's why, if you get some gold and you get some silver, do this. Look at your total financial picture. If you have huge amounts of personal debt, you're better off selling that silver, selling that gold, taking that money and eradicating that debt. That's going to be better because there are very few investments that are going to pay you the interest that debt is accumulating. So, weigh it out. If you need to get a piece of paper, get your cat and cipher on his tail, do whatever you need to do, but crunch the numbers for your personal situation. Everyone cannot have the same financial position due to the fact that everyone has different income. Everyone has a different legacy. What is legacy? Legacy is dear old mom and dad or Uncle Wilbur. I know people who have crazy debt, and I also know their dad and mom are worth 15, 20 mil, and hopefully they'll be with us longer. But the minute that they take that internal nap, their financial position is going to change like that. That's not everybody, but when they talk about that huge transfer of generational wealth that's about to come, those are the people they're talking about. So know your picture and govern yourself accordingly.